So you guys saw, if you went in there, there's headphone cases, 3D printing. This was mine from 2 years ago. I still have it in my room. And then another thing I made was, it's an automotive box, so it's a engine model, and then on the inside it's got cams. You rotate it, and it makes the pistons pop up. And 3D, I wouldn't have been able to make any of this with 3D printing. It allows for highly customizable ranges of, designs, and rather than having to, just like make something out of wood and it's not very precise, you can 3D print it. I learned so many skills on those computers, and I feel that I'm at an advantage, going into college, having the experience that others don't have. And
Thank you.
For me, I also, my first year, made a protective earbud case. Yes, ooh, ah. And within my second year, we advanced on to the Automata project, which Henry was also speaking of, where we have to make individual plastic bits that you see here and on the inside, where we had to design it ourselves in a 3D environment called CAD. We specifically use Inventor. It's a great tool to have, and that allows us to make these models that you see here. So I can just rotate this guy, and these fellas go up and down. I know,
that's
so
cool.
exciting.
Very cool. Thank you, Corey.
Outside of this class, I've been able to use these skills quite frequently. For instance, in my sculpture and ceramics class, my teacher, Ms. Casagrande, was lacking tools because tools are expensive and we don't have a lot of money for tools sometimes. And so, for instance, this is an angle cutter. Yay! It costs like $7 a pop for these suckers, and she does not have the budget to have so many of these. So I was like, wow, it looks like a 3D printed piece, so I just took the measurements of it and remade them using the skills from this class. So now she has about 20 or so of these. I have no idea either. I know, yeah, he just kept adding more and more. I was like, solid. I was gonna hope for 6, but we had like a bunch now. So now she doesn't have to worry about spending so much money on these.
How much do you think that would be?
I'm not sure.
Like how much?
Like just instead of $7.
Oh, okay.
To make that.
If that.
yeah,
It's
5,
Like
10
it's,
cents.
it's maybe 10 grams of filament, and the filament I buy is $25 for a kilogram, so it's pretty cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
significantly cheaper.
That is so cool.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you see, like, it's the same project, basically. The build is the same project. And you design the cams, make it move. But I'm also on the robotics team, and we encountered a problem where we didn't actually have the game elements for the field. So then I CAD'd, like, the whole base plate for, like, because we, like, during, like, the V5, what was it? It's high stakes this year. So you have a stake that looks exactly like this, and you're supposed to load rings onto it. And to build our bot, we needed those measurements, but we didn't have it. So I took the measurements from the game manual, and using the skills I learned in this class, I modeled the whole thing so we could use it to build the robot.
Wow.
And we also made like the ladder rungs because we were supposed to also have a climbing portion of the game, and we didn't also have a ladder for the same reasons. So we made the triangular pieces and stuck it on some PVC pipe, and now we have a ladder.
That's awesome. Very cool. Problem solving.
This wouldn't be possible without 3D printing technology. We did try and run the class the first year without 3D printers. It was awful. I mean, I gotta admit, it was terrible. I didn't like it whatsoever. But as soon as we got the 3D printers, we were able to actually start creating some stuff. That's when it took off. That's when it got really, really interesting. Students enjoyed it a lot more. And basically that led into all of the laser cutting, that led into the CNCing, that led into everything that we do. And that basic skill or that way to get out a physical model of the idea that the kids were putting into CAD was what was the catalyst. So without that, we couldn't do it.